lawsuit against New York over its sanctuary policies. In Los Angeles, Trump and Newsom squared off over the use of the National Guard troops in the city in response to the protests. So, Ben, there's your story. Donald Trump is suing Mayor Bass and Los Angeles. Whoa.
Wow. You know what? That seems to me to have come from the pen of Stephen Miller. Like, exactly. It's like he's now writing legal briefs. Now that we have one Steve, I think it's a good segue. Thank you, Uncle Steve. That was great. Stephen Crone, I know you've got something up in your PTR, but I'm curious what you think. Is this a frivolous lawsuit that we're talking about here?
Yeah, probably. There's a couple of landmark cases in what's called anti-commandeering, which basically say that the federal government can't directly order state law enforcement authorities to do anything. Obviously they're trying to come up with an alternative theory here, but I don't see how you get around the idea that claiming that that states are not cooperating with feds, whereas they would cooperate with other state authorities, is somehow discrimination. I don't see how that doesn't gut the concept of anti-commandeering. So principle one is, again, the anti-commandeering doctrine under the 10th Amendment, which says, federal government can't directly order state law enforcement authorities to do anything. And then the second piece of that is, but what about the federal government trying to get them to do what they want by denying, federal funding? And there, basically the concept is that it has to be connected. You can withhold funding where states refuse to cooperate with certain policies with regard to that funding, right? There has to be some rational connection, but you can't simply say, we're going to withhold funds from you generally if you don't do what we say, because again, that runs afoul of this anti-commandeering idea. So I think it is possible for the feds to withhold, if they were providing certain funding related to immigration, that they could withhold it. But they don't really do that because states aren't responsible for immigration law. So I don't think that the feds are providing money to the states with regard to immigration enforcement, because the states don't do immigration enforcement, generally speaking. So, yeah, I think this is probably frivolous. I know that they filed similar suits in other states as well. But the ones you would expect, the big blue states. There's also a suit in Illinois. I think there's also a suit in New York. So, right there, those are the first three you would expect.
Right.
Illinois and California, the three most populous, quote unquote, blue states in the country. But yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere.
So you don't think there's any chance that this is going to get appealed up to the Supreme Court?
Of course, that's all. I should have prefaced all my comments by saying, in a normal world, this would be going nowhere. But you can't. On a different subject, but just to illustrate the point, despite the fact that Citizens United has proven to be an erroneous decision, and by that I mean its own logic has shown to be false, right? They said, don't worry, this won't lead to A, B, and C, and it's exactly led to A, B, and C. So instead of revisiting Citizens United, the court announced yesterday that they're revisiting a case setting limits on coordinated spending by the party for a candidate. And so they're going in the other direction, right? It's going to be Citizens United on steroids. So we don't live in a normal world, and therefore, who knows? But yeah, if we're relying on existing law, this is going nowhere. Could it go all the way to the Supreme Court and they could, change the non-delegation doctrine? Well, yeah, they've shown that they're willing to do almost anything. It's you know, we're in lawless Supreme Court territory, as I've said many times. And so, you know, all bets are off if it gets that far.
Yep, yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. It's not a matter of whether they logically can do it. They're doing things that are not logical. So,
Ben, can I ask Steve Crone one follow-up question, please?
yes, you may.
Thank you. And Steve Crone, hypothetically, if this does get